What's up, peeps? It's Nick Johnson, your favorite sports YouTube journalist, back in here with one more video, giving you the recent track of a recent sports update. I apologize if I haven't uploaded any basketball talk videos since it is the NBA playoffs and we're already in the second round. My Lakers got eliminated, as y'all know. I was pissed, I was upset, and I don't want to make a video while I was mad. I mean, I would go on a long rant, but I'm going to make a separate video on that one, and basically recapping the first round of this year's playoffs, who advanced and whatnot. So I'll make another video on that. But today we're gonna talk about yesterday's, I don't want to say blockbuster, but a really blockbuster NFL trade, regarding one NFL superstar, and that is arguably one of the best wideouts in recent memory for the last decade, especially in NFL history. And that is Julio Jones. Now, as we all recall yesterday, the Julio Jones era in Atlanta is officially over. After spending his entire career and his basically a decade in a Atlanta Falcons uniform, the Falcons have traded away their longtime wideout Julio Jones and a 6th round pick to the Tennessee Titans for a 2nd rounder and a 4th rounder. Now, Julio Jones' future in Atlanta was up for question since before the draft began, because as soon as Atlanta completed their selecting their entire draft class from this year's NFL draft, which happened back in April, it was reported that they did not have enough salary to sign their entire rookie class. They're literally like at their salary cap limit, or barely just have enough money at all. So, and Julio Jones' future was up in question because in an interview during Fox Sports 1's debate show, Undisputed, with Shannon Sharpe and Skip Bayless, he literally openly said that he's out of there. Because apparently the frustration with the franchise has boiled over, not just from this past season, but rather since September of 2019, when him and the Falcons have endured this excruciating contract negotiations about his current salary. But of course they gave him some leverage, gave him some leeway, gave him a raise. They can't give him a new contract, but they just gave him a raise. A nice little raise on that. But apparently this stems from the whole contract dispute, and it goes longer than exactly what the state of the franchise was. So, and he even stated himself that his time is pretty much in Atlanta is pretty much done. And so the trade rumors for Julio stemmed throughout the entire offseason of which team was willing to pick him up and who would be willing to take him, because he's on a big-time contract, coming off of an injury-riddled season where he only played like 8 or 9 games and had like over 50 catches for 770 plus yards and 3 touchdowns. But he could still produce at a high level. I mean, yeah, he's on a big contract and he's 32 years old. And I think that'll be like the age when the wide receivers production starts to decline a bit. Because we've seen it throughout the years. Because like when you hit like the other side of 30, that's when your production slightly becomes like less and less productive and valuable at that certain point in time. But he's still one of the league's premier wide receivers despite an injury-riddled campaign. So, yeah, we were just all predicting exactly where we were going to go, because you had certain teams that are looking to upgrade a wide receiver. You had the New England Patriots, who had a very busy offseason, rarely going on a spending spree, in which they did. And their only wideouts were guys who were like depicted as number 2 wideouts, like Kendrick Bourne and, of course, the speedy Nelson Aguilar. Of course, they upgraded at tight end with Hunter Henry and Jonnu Smith, but that's another different conversation. But many people thought that New England and Bill Belichick and company would take that massive leap to bring in Julio to New England, but of course. And then you also had the San Francisco 49ers looking to upgrade a wide receiver, because they had Deebo Samuel and Brandon Ayuk. But it would have been nice to see them go the distance. It would have been a hellified upgrade and improve their chances of returning to the playoffs and hopefully make another Super Bowl run with his arrival. Then there are the Titans, who eventually got Julio yesterday, because they needed help at a deep wideout ever since wide receiver Corey Davis left the Titans in free agency to sign with the New York Jets. Let me turn this off real quick. Sorry about that. Swamp cooler on. But yeah, you had the Titans looking to upgrade since their other big target, Corey Davis, signed a free agent deal to sign with the New York Jets. So that was an area that they needed to help out Taji Sharp and AJ Brown. So with Julio's arrival in Tennessee, Ryan Tannehill pretty much has a new target. So yeah, and I think the Titans now with Julio's arrival can pretty much become a legitimate threat to possibly compete for a Super Bowl title if that's the case. Because like I said, Ryan Tannehill, who pretty much revitalized his career after a disastrous tenure in Miami, he pretty much revitalized himself in Tennessee. First ever Pro Bowl nod, I think. Yeah, first ever Pro Bowl nod, and taking the Titans to the playoffs, especially in this first season when he guided them to the AFC title game in a shocking season that we did not expect from him. Last season, they were the AFC South Division champs, got bounced in a wild card round by Baltimore. But they were looking to run it back and see where that goes from there. So it'd be really nice to see what that offense can do because now you have Tannehill at the helm. You now have the league's premier wide receiver in Julio Jones, Tajay Sharp, and then you add AJ Brown to the mix. And then you have last year's leading rusher in Derrick Henry. That offense could be scary in a way, assuming Julio stays healthy and has the typical Julio Jones-like season where he went on a string of consecutive years with 1,000 yards, well, more than 1,000 yards receiving. I think that offense in Tennessee can be very deadly. Just their defense can tighten up a bit, hopefully, and Tennessee can go a long way. Maybe they'll turn some heads. We'll see how that goes this coming season when it starts in September. Okay, especially with fans coming back in attendance and whatnot. So that'd be really, really great. Now, for Atlanta, this clears up about over $15 million in cap space, which finally enables them to re-sign their entire 2021 draft class. You know, because their salary situation prevented them from making all sorts of moves and whatnot. And of course, the big deal was if for them to trade away Julio Jones, they had to wait until after June 1st to do so. Because if they do it beforehand, that'll put them even further salary cap hell and basically attaining a lot of dead money and prevents them from signing their entire rookie class. So that pretty much saves that. But since they did it after June 1st, which was exactly what was it? June 6th. There we go. June 6th. It was a great time for them to make the trade, and they've saved over $15 million in cap space, and they signed the rookie class as a result. So it's sad to see that Julio is now leaving Atlanta based on all that he's done for them. But at the same time, the way that the direction that the Falcons are going, I think he needs a fresh start, and I think he has a chance to go to a team that's viewed as a legitimate Super Bowl contender. We'll see how that goes. I mean, do I view them as heavy favorites? Of course not, because their defense, in a way, is still kind of suspect. Because I don't know who they have at cornerback right now. Because they released Malcolm Butler, who's now signed with Arizona. They let Adoree Jackson walk to the New York Giants. So I don't know exactly who they have in the secondary, to be quite honest with you. But if they can improve on defense and rely on the young guys, then they might go a long way. But their offense could be deadly. So, yeah, that's all I wanted to talk about in yesterday's trade in this video. So, if you like, what do you like? Sorry about that. If you guys like the video, like the video. If you want to see more of my content, hit that subscribe button. If you want to keep to update on when I'm gonna upload my next video, hit that bell com button and you get my notifications. What do you think about this trade? Do you think Tennessee can improve their odds at a deep playoff run? Do you think Atlanta did the right thing by saving themselves some salary money, or do you think it was a big mistake? Let me know what you guys think. And also, teams are still like, as of right now, since it only took a second rounder, since Atlanta was asking for a first rounder at first, Atlanta was hoping for a first rounder, but teams were reluctant to give them that such a deal because now teams have been more reliable on first round picks to see what they can deliver. Unless it's swapping first round picks, they're not willing to make a deal for that. So they got a second rounder at least, so that's better than nothing. So and has just as a bit of value close to a first round pick than it was before. So yeah. But that's all I have today. What do you guys think about this trade let me know in the comment section. What do you think about this trade? Do you think it's a good one? Do you think it's a bad one? Let me know. Let's talk about it, okay? So with that being said, that's all I have for in this video. I'm Nick Johnson, your favorite sports YouTube journalist, and I'm out. Peace.